Hello there. So this is Cambridge Exams 2024 Frequently Asked Questions. So in this special session, I'm just going to focus on 3 questions that mostly many students around the world are asking, and they're not being answered. They are online. Maybe someone posted a video on YouTube, and then these questions come afterwards and nobody answers them. Nobody takes the time to answer them. So we're going to start with these first 3 questions, but before, let me tell you, I'm Anna. I'm a teacher of English specialized in pronunciation, in oral skills and pronunciation, and I help students to acquire or to get a B2 First oral certificate, a Cambridge B2 First as we call it now. It used to be called First Certificate of English, and now it's B2 First, and C1 Advanced Cambridge Oral Exam. All right? So that said, let's plunge into the first question. So if you see that I'm looking sideways, it's because I didn't know how to include the slides that I have prepared, and this is my second time live, so you will excuse my
this a little bit, that I'm not here with all the tools readily prepared.
But, well, let's go to the first question. So, the first question that most students ask is, which level do I have? Is it a B2 or a C1? And which exam should I take? Well, this is not a silly question. Which level do I have? And I will see this with you, because there are many people. Take me, for example, right? A person who has come as a foreign language speaker into the country. In this case, I'm in Switzerland, right? And here in this canton, in this place, we speak French, right? When I first came here three years ago, I had a B1 level, a B1 accreditation, that is a B1 certificate given by an EOI, that is an Escuela Oficial de Idiomas from Spain. So I came with that certificate, but then I started being an autonomous learner. And here, when you are immersed in the language, when you are using it daily, on a daily basis, you speak a lot. I had to speak with neighbors, with doctors, with friends, lots of people. So my level obviously started to increase. I started to gain confidence in my fluency and the way I was even writing short texts and texting and emailing. And so my level went up drastically. And so in just a few months, I was a B2, right? And not because I say it, but because I took online lessons with an extraordinary teacher that I really recommend. If you want me to I will tell you later her name. And wow, it was a boost. It was a boost. She gave me what I needed in order to function in this country, to become more confident in my abilities, in my speaking skills. So I was in a B2, established B2. So within a year from B1, I passed to having a B. Good. It was a little bit paused. I don't know if you got it from the other end, but it was paused due to poor connection. I don't understand why the poor connection comes. But well, all the same. So, which level do I have? It depends on a lot on what you're doing right now with your language, okay? So, I forgot to put my microphone. I don't know if you can hear well. But well, okay, if you're there, wave at me, please. So I have any feedback from you, right? So the level highly depends on what you're doing, not so much your certificate. So people tend to get mistaken there. They think, Oh, I already have a big one, now I'm going to have a B2. Yeah, but it depends on how long, how far away in time you stopped studying, right? So always remember this thing, that a piece of paper, all right? And this goes against me and Cambridge and everyone who's given certificates, but this is like that, okay? A piece of paper tells you what level you have at a certain point in your life and under special conditions, right? Because when you are at the exam, right, you give the best of you, but sometimes you're nervous, you don't know exactly, or you don't remember the structures you wanted to include in your essay, you get stuck, for whatever reasons. So at that moment, you were at that level, and this is what Cambridge gives you accreditation for, okay? But then if you don't do anything else with language, you will not have that level. Probably you will go down, okay? So to keep your level, you have to always be doing stuff in English, right? Listening to podcasts is an excellent experience that I truly recommend. What else can you do? Of course, reading novels, reading as much as you can in English, reading far and wide in English. Watching movies, yes, but that depends, okay? Sometimes it's a little bit very challenging, especially depending on the age, for example. You might need subtitles, but of course, any exposure to the foreign language is good. So, which level do I have? That will highly depend upon you. Now, for you to know exactly what level you have, you should ask a professional, right? In my case, I can give, with just 10-minute talk or 15-minute talk, and you can book a session with me, you can book that 15 free chat interview we have, I can have an idea of your level. It doesn't take much, right? Now, if you want to have a full understanding of what level you have, of course you need more time, okay? Sometimes teachers, I used to be head of English department in the Escola Oficial de Idiomas do Lot, and we are in charge of doing these entrance examinations and to stream students into different levels. And sometimes it was very difficult. Only having a piece of writing and a 5 to 10, 15-minute talk with a student, you cannot possibly know exactly the range of language this person has. So it's always tentative, okay? But if you give me time, if it's one full session in which you do writing, you do some kind of speaking, we do some listening, so the 4 competencies that we say, right? The 4 skills, which is writing, reading, listening, and speaking, you can have more or less an accurate sense of what level you have, right? Okay, so this was to answer the question, which level do I have? Which is question number 1. And the second question, let's pass on to number 2, right? Someone said, and this caught my attention through and through, it was, can I prepare the exam in less than a month? Hold on to your horse, babe. In less than a month, right? Well, okay, yes, it depends. Again, it depends. What are we talking about here? The whole exam? A B2 first exam? Right? All the papers, we call them papers, right? The reading paper, the writing, okay? Reading usually is with a use of language. So reading and use of language, writing, speaking, listening. Well, it's a little bit too much to do in less than a month, but it depends. If this person was referring to just one part of the exam, maybe she could do it, or he could do it, right? But, for example, I'll just strictly speak of the oral exam, right? In the oral exam, you have 4 parts, right? The interview, this is applicable to many of Cambridge exams, right? But you have 4 parts. So you have an interview, then a monologue or a discussion of a photograph. Then you have to solve a task with the other candidate, we call it, so the other student that goes with you to the exam. And finally, there's a 3-way discussion, we call it. There's a discussion between the 2 candidates or the 2 students sitting for the exam and the examiner, right? So for all these 4 parts, at least you need 2 months to prepare for that, okay? Why do I say 2 months? 2 months in order to be fully aware that if there's any weak point in any of these parts, you will have time to review it before the oral exam, right? But in general, what Cambridge says as an estimate of the quantity of hours you need to prepare for any test, right? Test preparation, not just the level, but exam preparation is 180 hours, right? So with those 180 hours, you can give yourself an idea how much time you need. But strictly speaking of the oral exam, you can have less. You can have, it depends on you, of course. It depends on your level, how well you speak. But let me give you facts here. Fun facts, all right? Fun facts. I had one student in the EY. I used to work in Escolas Oficials de Idiomas, and one student of mine preparing for C1 level exam. So she was there for a long time, for the whole year, but she was not coming regularly to classes. She was not handing in all the writings I was asking them to do. So she was taking it a little bit lightly. And over the last month, I would say a month just before the final exam, we had an interview. I always wanted to have interviews, individual interviews with students to analyze their strengths and their weaknesses, to see in the exam how well prepared they were for the exam. With this girl, I went very tentatively to her and I said, I really don't know if you're going to pass the exam, because you haven't given me enough proof, enough evidence for me to know if you are at the level required. Okay, and so I suggested, why don't you pair up with someone who knows more than you? That is an excellent technique, an excellent strategy for exams, right? Pair up with someone, look for someone who knows more than you, who's a stronger candidate than you, either in the writing, in the listening, especially in the writing and speaking, right? She did that. She went with her, with the best, the best candidate, no, but one of the students of mine who had mostly right, and I had corrected him again and again. So they started writing and self-correcting, self-evaluating their pieces of writing and also practicing for the oral exam. A month later, she passed the exam with flying colors. And I could not believe my ears and my eyes when I saw her say, my God, what a level you have achieved. And I asked her, but Maria, can you tell me your secret? What did you do in this last month? Oh, I prepared with, and she said the name Angel, I remember his name. I paired up with him. I followed your advice. I say, congratulations, hat off to you. So in a month, she had really, it's like, when you're running a race and the last few miles, the last few, I would say, meters, right? You do a sprint, really giving everything to it. So, of course, you can do it. No, it's not advisable, but you could do it for certain parts of the exam, right? But this is exceptional, I would say. So now, let's pass on to the third question we're going to discuss today. And it is, when are Cambridge exams 2024? And how can I apply? Well, this is easy peasy. Cambridge exams 2024, you go to the website, which is www.cambridgeenglish.org. Cambridge English, everything together. So remember, there are two E's there, dos es, okay? cambridgeenglish.org. You go there, and there it is the schedule of all the dates that you have to take into account when applying. But wait there. It depends where you're going to sit for. Where? Yes, in what official school or examining center you're going to sit in, right? So just let me grab a little bit my glass and take a sip. So that highly depends on where you're going to sit for. For example, if you live in Girona province, right? Strictly speaking of Catalonia, my hometown is in Catalonia, in Girona. So suppose you want to sit for an exam in Girona, and you already know Girona is going to be your place. So it's better you apply directly. You go directly to the examining center website, okay? In this case, I recommend you one. Examines Cambridge Girona. All right? So you go to their website and you will see there when the exams are scheduled for this year. It might not be the full list you have seen from the official cambridgeenglish.org website, because each examining center will decide which of these dates they are going to publish and they are able to run. Because don't forget, Cambridge is one of the most important institutions around the world, and it depends on which affiliate you have, which branch you have, or you look for, you will have different dates, okay, or different opportunities of exams. So let me tell you, for example, B2 First Digital, B2 First, the former FCE exam. In the version digital, Examens Cambridge Girona has posted the date as 16 March 2024. So if you're thinking of sitting for a digital version of an exam and it's the B2, the only one you have is 16 March so far. All right? So before even thinking of preparing for an exam, please check the dates. All right? Please check the dates. All right. So that will be all for today. But remember, there will be 2 more sessions like this one live here on Instagram. And if you have more questions, because I'm going to develop 10 questions, the 10 top questions, Cambridge exams 2024, but if you have any different one, so I suggest that you go down, right? Write in the comments, write your question, type your question, so I will be able to include it in further discussions, all right? So, thank you very much for being here. Next time I will put my microphone, because today I completely forgot about that. So hope you could have followed me quite well. Thank you for the waves. Here I see 3 people were connected, and I will also post this on my YouTube channel, remember that I'm also a YouTuber. Is something else that I have been developing over the years. So there you will see this very same video posted there, right? So in my channel about pronunciation. So stay safe. Any more questions, you know, you can send it here in the comments here or on YouTube if you're going to see this on YouTube. And stay safe and see you next session live. 3 more questions to come. Bye bye.